Good afternoon. This is the special coverage of the coronavirus crisis using the combined forces of News 5 and Signal TV's One News, Radio 5 and 1PH. Ilulunsad ng gobyerno ang rapid pass system na magpapadali sa health workers at iba pang authorized persons na dumaan sa checkpoints. Magsisimula na rin ngayong araw ang pamimigay ng cash assistance sa mga mahihirap na pamilya. Para sa detalye, nagbabalita live si Maricel Halili. Maricel, so paano gagana itong rapid pass system ng gobyerno? Anong ahensya yung mag-ooperate at sino-sino yung mga pwedeng mag-avail?
Cheryl, kanina nabanggit ni Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles na yung mga frontliners natin pwedeng mag-avail nitong rapid pass system para hindi na sila maantala doon sa mga checkpoints. Ang gagawin lang nila, kailangan daw nilang i-check or mag-apply doon sa rapidpass.ph, yung website, kung saan magpi-fill up ka lang ng form, tapos i-screen ka lang kung talagang frontliners ka. After mo na ma-approve yung application, bibigyan ka ng QR code. Yung QR code na yon, pwede mo siyang i-print o kaya naman pwedeng i-record mo lang dun sa yung smartphone para yun mismo yung i-scan ng mga police doon sa checkpoints. Or kung wala ka namang smartphone, hindi ka naman makapag-print ng QR code, bibigyan ka naman nila ng number. Itong number na to, parang code mo yan yung ibibigay mo doon sa checkpoint together with your ID para ma-check ng mga police doon sa checkpoints kung talagang kabilang ka nga doon sa mga exempted. Mamayang hapon yan, mga bandang 4:00 ng hapon, ang sinasabi ni Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles na sisimulan itong rapid pass system. Ito daw ay sa pangunguna nga ng ating mga IT experts mula sa private sector at katuwang yung DICT at yung DOST to make sure na hindi magkakaroon ng issue doon sa data privacy.
Yung frontliners ang maaaring gumamit nitong rapid pass system. Maliban sa frontliners, sino pa ang pwede?
So far, yung mga frontliners lang talaga yung ibinigay na detalye ni Secretary Nograles dahil ang priority natin dito yung mga healthcare workers at para hindi maantala yung mga magbibitbit ng cargo. Kasi simula nung magpatupad sila ng enhanced community quarantine, lagi na lang daw nagiging issue yung pagka-delay ng mga food supply na bitbit ng mga cargo. So para mapigilan to, bibigyan sila ng special lane kung saan magbibigay na lang sila ng QR code at doon i-check kung pwede silang palusutin doon sa checkpoints.
So again, klaruhin lamang natin, starting today at 4 p.m. ay pwede na silang magtungo sa rapidpass.ph at mag-apply.
Yes, pero hindi pa naman yan fully operational, Cheryl. Kumbaga, launching pa lang yung gagawin nila ng 4 p.m. ngayon. Kasi kanina, chinek ko din yung website. Hindi pa talaga siya gumagana. Ang makakakuha ka lang ng additional details, yung Facebook account ng rapidpass.ph. So, mamaya, magbibigay daw ng additional details sina Secretary Nograles kung paano yung magiging proseso nito. Kasi kanina, kumbaga, advancer pa lang yung ibinigay niya.
Okay, Maricel, papuntahan ko naman itong Social Amelioration Program. Lahat na ba ng qualified ay makakatanggap today o magiging per batch yan?
Cheryl, ang paliwanag kanina ni Secretary Nograles, ang impormasyon daw na nakarating sa kanya simula ngayong araw, unti-unti na raw makakatanggap yung mga beneficiaries ng Manila at saka ng Parañaque. Ngayon, yung mga nakalista rin daw doon sa mga beneficiaryo ng Pantawid Pamilya Pilipino Program, unti-unti na rin daw silang makakatanggap simula ngayong araw. Pero mas maigi daw na hintayin muna yung abiso sa kanila, total may existing communication na rin naman between them and the government para maabisuhan sila kung pwede na silang pumunta ng bangko at mag-withdraw. Kasi ang iniiwasan nila yung magsiksikan sila doon sa bangko kasi pangkaraniwan kapag mga pantawid pamilya, ang haba-haba ng pila sa land bank pagkuha nila nung pera Pero hintayin na lang daw muna yung abiso para maiwasan yung mahabang pila sa mga bangko.
Meron kasi, Maricel, na mga 4Ps beneficiaries na walang cash card. Paanong mangyayari doon?
Cheryl, ang mas maigi siguro makipag-ugnayan sila doon sa mga barangay officials nila. Kasi sa social amelioration, hindi lang naman yung mga members ng 4Ps yung makakatanggap dito. Kumbaga, gagawin lang silang priority. Pero, meron pa kasing listahan na inihahanda yung mga barangay officials na isasama rin doon sa makakatanggap dito sa social amelioration ng between 5,000 to 8,000 pesos. Kasi mga senior citizens, mga PWDs, isasama rin kasi dito. So, bagamat ang social amelioration, ang pinakang head agency ay DSWD, when it comes naman doon sa implementation, katulong pa rin nila yung LGU. So, better coordinate with the barangay officials.
Maricel, on another topic, itong paghahanda na ginagawa sa mass testing ng PUMs at PUIs, kumusta? May nadagdag ba na detalye dito after ng announcement kagabi ni General Galvez na gagawin na ito sa April 14?
Oo, tama, Cheryl. Buti na lang nagkaroon ng mass testing kasi magkakaroon ng mass testing dahil naging issue to nung mga nakaraan. Kanina, inanunsyo ng Interagency Task Force na so far nasa 8 na raw yung test facilities na gumagana ngayon. Babasahin ko lang yung 8. Siyempre kabilang na dyan yung RITM kasi ito talaga yung unang-una kasama na rin dyan yung San Lazaro Hospital, UP National Institutes of Health, Lung Center of the Philippines, Baguio General Hospital and Medical Center sa Benguet, yung Western Visayas Medical Center sa Iloilo, Vicente Soto Memorial Medical Center sa Cebu, at Southern Philippines Medical Center sa Davao City. Pero kung ang pagbabasihan natin, Cheryl, yung listahan ng DOH, napakadami pa nung mga inaaral nila o ini-screen nila ng mga facilities para maging testing center din. Kabilang na nga dyan yung St. Luke's na BGC at saka yung QC. Ito yung medyo malapit-lapit na kasi kailangan umabot ka sa stage 5 para masimulan na rin yung paggamit ng facility mo for testing So yung sa Marikina, nasa stage 2 pa lang yung huling check ko, so baka medyo matagal-tagal pa.
Maricel, panghuli na lamang, ang binanggit na date ng simula ng mass testing ay April 14 at ito rin ang pagtatapos dapat ng ating extended community quarantine. So napag-usapan ba or may narinig ka na ba na possible extension ng ECQ?
Alam mo, natanong din natin yan sa IATF kanina, Cheryl. Pero ang sagot ng tagapagsalita nila na si Secretary Nograles, ayaw nilang pangunahan kung ano man yung magiging recommendation ng technical working group. Kasi inassign na nila dyan yung Department of Health together with other agencies to set parameters na pagbabasihan whether to lift the enhanced community quarantine or if there's a need to extend. So, kailangan nating hintayin kung ano yung parameters na sinet na yun. And then, once na nakapag-set sila ng parameters, pag-aaralan ng IATF, aaprubahan nila, and then upon also the approval of President Duterte.
Maraming salamat, Maricel Halil. PACC Commissioner Greco Belgica warns public officials who will take advantage of the COVID-19 crisis. Belgica reiterated that the distribution of relief packs and medical donations are now under the supervision of the national government. However, he clarified that all kinds of help, whether from private or public institutions, are welcome. But officials who will and try to take advantage will be arrested.
Yung possibility ng corruption, totoo po yan, and we are aware of it, and we are acting on it. Kaya po si Presidente already had cut down the process and yung mga dadaanan. Ngayon, tinanggal na niya LGU, tinanggal na niya ang barangay, direkta na po ang national government, DSWD, na DILG, sa pamamigay po ng pera dahil kita natin madami pong LGUs ang pumalpak dun sa relief pa lang.
Naglunsad ng Care Store ang isang ospital sa Taguig para bigyan ng libreng grocery items ang health workers at iba pang frontliners doon. Kabilang po sa mabibili rito ay canned goods, juice at iba pang food products. Pero imbes na pera, bawat health worker at frontliner ng ospital ay bibigyan ng 2,000 care points. Ito ang pambayad nila sa Care Store. Ang good news, may dagdag silang care points sa mga susunod na araw. Simula naman sa April 7, may Care Store na rin sa branch ng nasabing ospital sa Quezon City. We'll continue the discussion over at One News, 1PH, and Radio 5. For now, that's the latest on the coronavirus crisis. For News 5, I'm Cheryl Quasim. We are One News.
Danny Laurel reporting to you guys live on the markets and the economy from my home in Muntinlupa. The headlines and what you need to know today. First of all, the Asian Development Bank says the global cost of coronavirus could reach, get this, as much as 5% of global GDP. That's, of course, as confirmed cases are now topping 1 million infections. You've got Business World. They have a poll of 11 economists saying that the March inflation sat at around 2.3%. You've got business and advocacy groups urging the government to throw a lifeline to MSMEs. Markets extended losses today, this Friday, but actually closed the week with some gains. The PSEi index is now trading at 5346.97. That's amid a pretty mixed performance along the rest of Asia. Property analyst Lee Chu sees some shining stars here. He does point out BPOs as well as POGOs as leading an office demand rebound towards the end of 2020. And you've got corporates continuing to be socially responsible, pulling their weight and helping out, amid this health and economic crises. Now let's kick off on the economic front. I did mention ADB putting numbers to the cost of this health crisis on the global economy. They've got two scenarios here. So the first scenario is, let's say, a shortened containment and a smaller demand shocks that could contract around 2 to 2.3% of GDP, with losses topping more than $2 trillion. But if the containment lasts longer, as we've seen, for instance, in some parts of Europe, the lockdown has been extended for more than 2 weeks in Germany, for example, and you've got larger demand shocks, it could be contracting by as much as 4.8%, and that's around topping $4 trillion worth of losses. So the maximum they're pegging here at a worst case scenario is $4.1 trillion of losses, and it all depends, of course, on whether the developed economies manage to contain the spread of this disease. Meanwhile, they've cut the regional growth forecast here in Asia. That's down to 2.2%, and their economists are saying there's a potential for severe financial crisis. Apart from that, let's move on to the domestic front. You've got some good news, let's say, in the fact that economists, at least Philippine economists, seeing the inflation or yung pagtaas ng presyo ng mga bilihin dito sa Pilipinas, at least for the month of March, slowing down a touch. So they're seeing a median estimate of around 2.3%. This is actually at the lower end of a target range that the Bangko Sentral had been expecting for this month. Of course, alam nating lahat that, there was this enhanced community quarantine that started in March and less, let's say, demand for goods going outside. So that might have pushed prices lower. But one other culprit is the price ng oil. So yung oil, nagbababa din ng transport prices in that sense. And this is what economists are pointing at. Another one, you've got Continuum Economics. They're saying that because of the price freeze that also brought prices, a bit lower on average than previously. For instance, you've got basic necessities. Those prices are frozen from March 16 until May 15. Now, Security Bank's Dan Roses, though, says, let's not sit on our laurels here. There might still be possibility that yung mga bilihin ay baka tumaas pa. For example, anong sabi niya? Pag mag-minimize yung production, then you'll have less goods on the grocery shelves. Baka magmahal ang bilihin. Plus, you've got food supply issues, not just dito sa Pilipinas, but in particular, rice coming from Vietnam. So if we import rice from there, and yung production doon might be halted or minimized, then baka dito magkakaroon din ng price spikes in terms of rice. Moving on to MSMEs. Paano na yung mga businesses na sarado at this moment? You've got Joint Foreign Chambers of Commerce asking agriculture, manufacturing, construction sectors to please fully reopen to bring back jobs and avoid losing some foreign investments. And this is from Senior Advisor John Forbes. He's saying, almost 1 million MSMEs in the country. That's around 99.52% of all our business, 63% of our total employment, and more than close to 6 million jobs here once you shut down all of these productions. So it's really a big issue here. You've got, and I reported this yesterday, big business leaders saying, apart from the lockdown, sana naman it will be lifted to a touch. You've even got DTI Secretary Mon Lopez saying they're looking into lifting some of the restrictions para mapanatili at least yung manufacturing sector, helping them. And meanwhile, in terms of what the government is doing, they have already released, as of today, 100 billion pesos to the DSWD. That's the first tranche of 200 billion pesos na ibibigay. Recall that they've promised 5,000 to 8,000 pesos to low-income families for the next 2 months. So, in the meantime, habang sarado pa yung mga MSMEs, at least may pera ang mga tao para makasurvive, which is of course very important that it gets to them ASAP. Now, moving on to markets, I'm just gonna be opening my terminal here for you. We did trade flat today. So if you take a look at your screens here, you're going to be seeing our weekly performance. Actually, today we didn't necessarily move that much. It was up, down by 0.09%. But the more important thing, I guess, is how we traded throughout the week. And if you take a look, we are still above 5,300, 5,346.97. And that is actually up a touch. So around 5%, 1 3/10% rather. 1 3/10%, not 5%. That would be great. 1 3/10% for the entire week. But still, so many things were going on, especially the past overnight, because we did see Wall Street having several gains. We didn't necessarily mirror that. And why is that? Because a lot of the information is still very muddled. You actually have 10 million US jobless claims. That's one of the highest in history they've seen, more than what was lost. And this is just in 2 weeks. 10 million jobless people. And this is higher already than the 2 years that the US had in jobless claims from 2008 to 2009. So that is an issue. Oil also surged, and that might have prompted a rally in equities as well. But still here, you've got net foreign selling, meaning yung mga investors, foreign investors na may pera dito sa Pilipinas, umaalis pa rin. Kinukuha nila yung pera nila dito, basically putting it in what analysts have called safe haven. So safer stocks there. We already saw ballooning of net foreigners yesterday, more than 1 billion. We lost more than 1 billion in just one day from foreigners. And today, another 560 million pesos left us net. This year's outflows, close to $700 million that we've lost already from foreigners. And Jonathan Revelas, he is of course chief strategist of BDO, saying this wave of net foreign selling is not ending anytime soon. Now, just a quick peek at how our sectors performed today. You're going to be seeing some reversals of what happened compared to yesterday. My chart is still loading, but basically what we saw yesterday was that the property space was one of the best performers, the only one in the green yesterday, and that is actually taking a slight hit today. So that is down by 1 Financials din, medyo mababa. So in the red, down by 1%. But you've got other industries still in the green, mining and oil, industrial services, holding firms. And just, to highlight properties, I just have one very interesting news here. This is from Lee Chu. So Lee Chu are property analysts, and they are, properties is a big question. Parang, is it resilient during this crisis? Is there a question on residentials? Are you going to be buying more property this year? I mean, that's a big question. Paano na may mga retailers, may mga malls, pag walang nabebenta or less foot traffic, paano na yan? So how will this all affect it? But they are saying office space will save the day. They are looking to be recovering by the second quarter of this year. They're looking at transactions to reach 1 million square meters by the end of the year. But this needs to be caveated because this is already 43% lower than the office space demand of last year. So this is an issue. Even in the first quarter, demand already dropped by 50% in terms of office spaces. How will this recovery occur? Well, what they're saying is that this will come from the BPO and the POGO sector, and that's a very interesting question. And what they're saying is because of the COVID-19 situation, it's pushing the entire world to a recession and bringing opportunities for the BPO sector, so generating jobs in BPOs faster than other events in the Philippines. They're also saying it's now time to be nice to POGOs, ask them back after this whole crisis, because we need them basically to sustain this private sector space. Just very quick check on other leaders and laggards today and also for the rest of the week. I did mention the property players. They were actually some of the laggards today. Mega World, for instance, sold off by more than 4%. Ayala Land as well. That was one of the best performers kahapon. But take a look at Pure Gold. Pure Gold today was up by more than 6 3/10%. And this from AP Securities. Sabi nila, investors are now shifting into retailers like Pure Gold that are selling the more, staples talaga like food, example. And they're saying that supermarkets have grown by high double-digit figures since the lockdown started. So this is a very interesting stock pick to be looking at. Another best performer today is Aboitiz Power. That's up by 4 4/10%. They actually had a massive drop yesterday. They had announced na hindi na sila mag-invest sa isang wind farm sa Vietnam, pero titingnan nila in a future date baka mangyari ulit. So they were heavily sold off, now seeing a bit of a recovery. And in terms of the 5-day period, so the weekly performers, AEV best performer this week, but you've got Ayala Corporation, the worst performer in the index this week, sliding by 8.5%. And finally, I just want to close with some good news. I've been trying to do that since this week started, and I did mention a lot of corporates pitching in and helping out. What are the new news here? You've got to go. That's of course a logistics company, now in talks with DOTR on, get this, floating hospitals. So they're going to be using some vessels as floating quarantine hospitals. It's pretty interesting. The DOTR has also partnered with Phoenix. They're going to be providing fuel subsidies. So basically, merong 60 private bus companies na nagsha-shuttle sa mga medical workers natin dito sa Luzon. Bibigyan sila ng 50 liters per day during the initial implementation para makagalaw ang mga medical workers natin. Other than that, you've got, just corporates pitching in. You can see that on your screens. LTG delivering food to the frontliners. Lala Move was tapped by AEV for donations. Zwilig Pharma giving 100 million pesos worth of donations for hospitals. And finally, DM Wenceslao adding to the slew of announcements of how corporates are going to be helping their own employees. They set up a 100 million peso fund for not just their employees, but also the tenants in their malls. They of course have office spaces and malls, an emergency fund para makarelieve naman sila during these tough times. So that's a first look. It's actually not a first look. That's a look into today and the business day today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Stay safe and healthy. I'm Danny Laurel and we are One News.